friends, I have two books that I really want to share with you all today. So much so that I'm just not going to talk about any of the other books that I've read in the past couple weeks. So let's get started with the first really awesome book. And this is Unkindness of Ghosts. It's by Rivers Solomon. And the main character is Aster, who, importantly to the story, she is black and queer and neuroatypical, which are just a really awesome perspective to take this book from. And Aster, lives in the low deck slums of this huge generation ship, and this ship is ferrying the last of humanity to the promised land. They've been on this trip for centuries, and now the ship is structured like the societal rungs of antebellum South. There are the privileged white class who lives in the upper decks, and then the black population lives in the lower decks, and they are treated as slaves. This includes hard labor and harsh moral restrictions on their decks, and all the other injustices and cruelties that are involved in just what you'd impose on those you might perceive as less than human. And so the plot of this book, it focuses on this mysterious link between the recent sovereign's death and also the suicide of Aster's mother, which actually happened 25 years earlier. So Aster is diving into the past of her mother and just what is going on in the ship. So along the way, she is also dealing with this nasty grudge with a brutal overseer, and also she kind of plants the seeds of civil war. Not in she's not organizing a rebellion. It's not an organized way, it's a very organic way. She's just very angry, and so she affects the greater ship through the actions of what she's doing for the plot. And so it's really compelling as we follow Aster tracing this mystery. It's powerful because of the situation, the people in it. I think you can already tell, it's a dark book, obviously, and it's so beautifully done. There's a richly drawn world, there's richly drawn characters. It is amazing, and I would say that this is one of 2017's not to be missed books. Moving along though, I also read Bitterblue by Kristin Cashore recently, and so good. I could not put this down. I canceled my weekend plans to finish reading this book. That's how page-turning it was. This is the third book in the Graceling Realm series, and it takes place 8 years after what happens in Graceling. So Bitterblue, she's been Queen of Monsea for 8 years now. And there's still, the whole kingdom is living under the shadow of King Lek's previous reign, because Lek was a monster. He had mind-altering abilities. He was a cruel man, and so he basically mind raped the kingdom for decades. It is really, really painful. But the book, it stakes out this middle ground in that all the pain and darkness, we don't go into the side of the spectrum that would be kind of cheap sensationalism, and we don't go overexposure to the abuses and the darkness of humanity. We're in this middle ground, but it's still really painful to read. And the kingdom of Monsea wants to recover, and they want to move on in what ways they think is right for moving on, but the trauma of their past is very much present. And so Bitterblue, she's coming of age in this era. She's 18-ish, and she's starting to become aware of the fact that she is not getting fully truthful information about her kingdom. And so she wants to find the truth of what's going on in her kingdom, what really happened during Lek's reign, and how she can make things better for her people. And so this truth-seeking, it takes her out of her castle and down into the city, down into the poorer parts of her kingdom, and she there finds all sorts of interesting information, including a conspiracy and also other mysteries afoot. And these mysteries, and of course Cashore's just great writing, really compels the plot. And maybe just not be able to put this down, it was hard to take breaks from reading, even just short 10-minute breaks. I just really loved reading this, and I love the characters. I have to definitely mention that. Right now there's a great whole cast. I love the cast, and also I love Bitterblue because she's so real. She's not one of those one-dimensional strong female characters. She is complicated and reacts to circumstances in different ways. She's clever, she is moral, but also sometimes manipulative, and she's brave but sometimes scared. She's a thoughtful queen overall, but she has reckless moments, and so she changes. Her confidence levels, even as a young person, they would you know, you'd think that they would be changing in ever-changing circumstances. And this really like happens really noticeably in the book, I think, compared to a lot of other like young female fantasy leads. I think Bitterblue really stands out as a really wonderful character to read about. So yeah, anyway, I love the book. That's like what I want to say about it. So those are books that I just really wanted to tell you about. Last notes, I am on Goodreads and on Instagram, links below if you're interested. Otherwise, I think that's a wrap on this video. Hope you enjoyed hearing about this. Until next time, my lovelies.